Hey everyone, this is Dr. Bukhari. So I have been asked multiple times from my students to explain the difference between different types of scholarly articles. Uh, and the people, they also had the questions from where they should start, what type of paper would be the best for them as they are going to start their research career. So I thought just to create a video and first to explain about the different types of the papers that we have in academia, then my expert opinion from where you should start if you are a beginner. So let's start with the different types of research paper. So if you see that on slides, I have categorized the different types of the paper from the case studies to the method, opinion, and positions paper, then original research and review paper, and then we have letter and chart papers. These are high level categories. Of course, case study, we have a different types of case studies. The original research, we have a different criteria to perform the research. Then we have our opinion and positions type of paper that could be a different and could be have a different structure based on the subject. For example, a review or a position paper in computer science would be different from a review or a positions paper from the biological science. And same as case studies paper are way different than in a medicine than in a political science. Review paper also have a different type, systematic literature review and literature review, and then we have the letter and chart paper. They also have been could be designed or could be written for different purposes. So, but overall, if you see that whatever would be the derivative or derivation of this paper, you will see when you go on different journals, they have the different types of the paper. Those types fall in these high level categories. So that's what I say. It's a very important if you are a beginner to get an idea about different types of paper. I'm not gonna explain in detail, as I mentioned, like what is different between systematic literature review and other types of review, and what is the quantitative research, what is the qualitative research, what is the method. But in general, I will give you the idea. At the end of the video, you will have the understanding between the different types of the paper at a high level, and maybe we require other videos where I will explain about each category in detail. Okay, starting with the research paper and research articles. I guess most of you are familiar with this type of paper or the articles. You saw that the articles on the Google Scholar, on the PubMed, and on various online academic repositories. So in the research articles, what we do that we will work on an original research problem. Either the problem is already identified, or we sometimes we find a problem and highlight a problem, and then we start working on that. We design our own method for that methodologies. We take a different data sets. We apply our newly developed techniques, or we can borrow others people techniques, can advance that technique, and at the end we produce the results, and then we justify our finding. So, and most of the research articles we send for peer review through on some conferences. We can submit to some journals. We also sometimes initial or preliminary results we submit to our preprint servers. I will create a separate video about the preprint servers, that what are the archive and bioarchive and med archives. That would be a separate video that will give you the idea that without peer review you can also publish your paper. Now, that was a brief about the research articles, how the research article look like. So research article could be like this. I have added one of my article like capability of decision support system developed for heart failure prediction. There we have developed our method. We got a data set. Then we applied our method on this on the data set, and we predicted a heart failure prediction. Of course, there are other papers about the heart failure prediction. At the end, we try to take the other published paper and also compare with them to show to the to people that why our research is better, or how we are improving our results. You can look more research paper or types of research paper mostly in my profile. I will put the link in description. You will get the more paper about research type papers. You can go over there. Most of the papers are available freely. That will give you the idea about the research articles. Okay, now let's move on to the review paper. Now, what is review paper? So we define the review paper as, let me change the color. So the review article, we say, is a type of article that summarizes the current state of understanding on a topic. How state of understanding it will improve that? For example, you are trying to look for the method used for detect the hand gestures, or you are working on the topic on the advanced topic of mRNA vaccines. But with the review paper, you will not do your preliminary research in a way that you will not conduct the experiments. You will not get the data and perform your original developed method to find results. Rather, what you will do that you will take the primary source of research, research article from the Google Scholar, from the PubMed, and then what you will do that you will summarize the results. You can summarize the result in a way based on some criteria that we will do that in systematic literature review, or simply you can summarize that in a way that would create a story, that would create a coherent understanding about that topic. What I always advise to the student, to create a review paper in a way so that if when you give that document to someone, to your friend, and your friend will not have any idea previously about that topic, so reading that paper it will get a complete understanding about the topic. So the review paper, researcher usually when they start research about a particular topic, at beginning they will try to find any published latest review paper. It will help them it will save their time. Otherwise they have to review all the papers or read all the papers and then have to find the areas where they could start the research on. But with the review paper they could read the when they will read the a review paper, they can easily get to the point which are less researched, and then they can start working on that from that point. So the publication areas, publication venues. So review papers and journals, they have a special venue as well, and these are called journals review papers. Sometimes the review papers are invited only. Review papers are types of paper which are easy to write, and these are types of paper which are very difficult to write. In a computer science, we consider that the people, the review paper should come from the experts, and at the same time there are some areas where the people where it is acceptable, even the junior level people, so they can write a review papers. And again, if you are going for systematic literature review, you need a deep understanding about the method which you are proposing, and also the domain expertise. But if you are going for the simple review, that still you should have the ability for critical writing, critical thinking, and critiquing as well. Uh, so this is the one example. This is also my paper. You can go over there, and that will give you the idea, detection and prediction of diabetes using data mining, a comprehensive review that what are this section, and you can see that, especially pay attention to the part of the intro part. At the intro part, we have explained that how many types of the papers, how many papers we have taken, what types of, what were our criteria, and then at the end you will see the discussion part. We have mentioned the areas which are less explored, or where it needs where like a researcher need to work on. So there, the overview of the review papers. The third paper is the case study type paper. Case study, as it names just, case study papers are in-depth, detailed examination of a particular case. For example, a case study about a medicine may focus on individual patient or the some ailment. For example, I can give you a quick example. For example, the pediatric hip pain, a case study. That one of the position paper, or sorry, the review paper I have added over here. So the case study paper, the about the pediatric hip pain, after reading this paper, this can give the idea to the community, to the researchers. Okay, so there are hip pain related events exist or occur even in pediatric patient as well. And same as in business, might cover a particular firm strategy where, like, the firm was totally was about to bankrupt, but with a certain strategy, now they are one of the in the top 10 or in the 500 companies in the world, or in Africa or in Europe. So basically, there the people will in depth study what was the criteria, what was the issue. Just taking this firm example, what was the previous issue with the firm, and then what strategy they have introduced, that whether the strategies were novel strategies or they borrowed a model from somewhere, and then how they have applied that model, what was the initial success, what was the success now, what would be the success in future. And then at the end, this case study will provide one, it will provide the idea that this kind of the particular phenomena exist, and but the researchers get inspirations from that, that they can that similar kind of the method or system, similar kind of the techniques could be used in other area as well. So that's how the case study helps. But usually it's a very subjective, and making it it's hardly able to, you can generalize that, or you can apply it to all the other areas. So that's how the case study is usually designed. And case studies are very, very common in medicine, in medical sciences, and less common in computer science and engineering and other areas. So this is the third type of paper. Now let's move on to the methodology paper or the method paper. So the methodology paper are the types of papers where a researcher present a new method, a new way, a new techniques. For example, a new techniques of data exploration, a new technique of plotting, a new technique of developing a vaccine, a new technique of could be just like an example, a novel method for predictions of the phenotype, even times using electronic health record. So the idea was that either the technique will be the researcher explain their in the body of the paper their technique. Then they also use some data or take some data and will evaluate their technique, and at the end even compare and contrast their technique from the existing techniques. And with that paper, it will give the idea to the readers, like if they would like to take the new techniques and how they can apply their techniques using their data. And methodology techniques are very, very common in computer science. they are less common in say in political science, in the like even in engineering they are quite common now. So that's how we differentiate the methodologies and methods from others paper. Now, another type of paper is called opinion type of paper, discussion papers, or the position type of papers. So in this type of papers, article present the author's perspective on the strength and weakness of a hypothesis or a scientific theory. So the here the researchers takes the paper, and then they based on some initial exploration, or based on some like a strong rationale, they try to provide their opinion, or they would like to write a paper. Then they make a point whether they are for or against about a particular research. And however, opinion articles don't hold unpublished or you can say the original data. uh, but these type of academic paper typically support the scientific discussions that challenge the current state of knowledge in a particular field, but not always. So the position paper is also another type of paper which is not easy to write. You have some strong opinion, and then you have your justification of that opinion. This is another example opinion paper, what needs to be changed for successful future livestock farming in Europe. You can go there, type on Google and read this paper. This will give you an idea about the opinion and discussion type of papers. Now, the last paper are the short paper. Short papers communicate brief reports of data from original research. Short papers are also the letters. Short papers are sometimes invitations only. And the short papers, if you see, I have added the examples of the Nature letters. So basically, sometimes, for example, the new novel method of developing the corona vaccine. If someone have came up with a new method, so the short papers in a letter style, length would be not more than 2 pages, will be sent to a journals. And then of course you have the supplementary materials, could be several pages. But the idea is that initial groundbreaking research could be shared with other researchers in a short time, and in a summary style. So that would be and these papers are less common in computer science, in engineering, and are quite common in medicine and overall in biological sciences. Especially if you see the Nature papers, every week, every month, they have several letter types papers. Now, my opinion and my advice to early career researchers, I would strongly recommend to go with the review paper. And why with the review paper? One, it will give you early career researcher by an idea about that domain. As they will download the paper, they will read the papers, 10, 20, 50, 100 papers, and that will build up their knowledge base. Second, usually the expert, these review papers you write with the expert in the field, and this will help you or give you the experience working within a team of environment. And thirdly, as you publish this paper, as it will be widely reviewed, as it will be widely the downloaded, it will get more citations that would be helpful for early career researchers to get some visibility, and that would later on help in getting their scholarship and research positions as well. But the writing of good review paper could be very, very difficult, but at least you can start the paper with not going with a systematic literature review, but can start with a literature review, general literature review paper. And when you've done that, I will strongly recommend the mid-career people to go with the position type paper. and as well as the research type papers. So that's all from this video. If you have any question, you can send me a message and I will try to answer. Thank you so much.